too often we get together for the wrong reasons, but to be here for a happy occasion is something to be cherished. You know, my mom was texting me and calling me constantly in these weeks coming up for this. She's like, I think Dad knows. I accidentally said party for him. I'm like, Mom, Dad definitely doesn't know. Dad definitely doesn't know. You know, my mom still has a spiral calendar, you know, the ones with the pages. Most of us use iPhones. She still uses the paper. And she's got all the stickies on these books. And sometimes my dad looks at this book and tries to see what's happening in the next couple of weeks. And he was looking at the book one day and I was like, oh my God, there's a sticky note that said party. Mom's like, oh no. She called me, she said, Jared, I think he knows. I'm like, Mom, you have 3 weddings, 2 baby showers, and a gender reveal every month. There's no way Dad took that party and made it to a surprise party for me. Okay, there's no way that's happening. Okay, you know, my dad is very, very detail-oriented about a few things. Dentistry is one of them. Good, it's a career, it's important. It's why I'm wearing this today. And 2 is the Yankees. There's all the details about the Yankees. Okay, you want to learn about World Series and batting average and RBIs and switch hitters. He knows them. And there are certain things that my dad is not very keen on. The first one is directions. North, south, east, west. That concept just missed it. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Wait.
Good thing he has Apple phone. The maps on the Apple phone. And the other thing he doesn't really care about is dates, logistics, parties, events. He just doesn't really care that much. Hey, we tell him these things, and it just, in one ear, out the other, like white noise. You know, the one thing I'm going to miss about my father, you know, in between patients, we have his office, and we used to shoot the shit. Like, what's going on? What are you up to? How are things? And I'd ask my dad, what are you up to this weekend? This happened a couple months ago. And I was like, you know, I don't think we have any plans. It's going to be nice. It's going to be a nice day. We're going to take a bike ride. We're going to hang out. Probably going to go swimming, play with my stamps a little bit. I'm like, what's going on? That's cool. No major plans. And later that day, I want to call my mom, because one of the girls said something funny. I got to tell my mom this. And I'm like, Mom, you know, I tell her the story about Ellen, Scarlett. And I'm like, oh, it's nice, a nice weekend off, no major plans. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, Dad said you had nothing going on. She's like, we have 2 weddings on Saturday night. I told him 6 times. How does he not remember this? I'm like, don't shoot the messenger. Okay, this is what he just told me.
Totally free, got nothing going on.
Okay, the decoy tonight was that we were going to get together for your retirement, and then we think the staff and their spouses out for dinner. Okay, Dad said we were gonna get my dinner. So I said, you know, at the office like a couple weeks ago, I'm like, Dad, we're gonna get together. It's gonna be at the Heritage Club. It's with Carlisle Green where I got married. It's a surprise party for you. We should need you there at 7:30. He's like, okay, cool. And like I said, normal, it's gonna be a DJ, open bar, you know, photographer, all the normal things for dinner. I said, okay, great. And as I start to say this thing about 7:30 and dinner, it's like white noise. White noise. And I know what's going through his mind at this point. He's probably thinking at this point, right when I say 7:30, he's like, 13 Yankees are on the DL. Boston's coming back. I don't like where the direction that we're heading. And then he pauses and comes to. He's like, is Mom going to be there? I'm like, yeah, that's a surprise party for you. Mom will be there. Okay. What about Marissa? I'm like, yeah, we're going to babysit her dad, and Marissa will be here too. See what I mean? You know, you all received this beautiful invitation in the mail. It had my dad's name, a toothbrush, toothpaste. Very cute. But this is really a celebration for both my parents, not just my dad. They worked very, very hard to get to this point. They had this idea they wanted to be retired at a certain point, and they worked towards it. They had a goal in mind, they got to the promised land. Never deviate from the promised land. No major splurges from my parents. They couldn't, they just didn't. No midlife crisis for my father. You're not gonna see a red Corvette in his driveway. In fact, since 1983, it's been Honda Accord, Honda Accord, Honda Accord, Honda Jarrett, Honda Accord, Honda Accord. I say this all the time. I can afford Mercedes, I just don't. That's just how they work. You know, they really wanted to get to this point, this date in mind, May 1st, 2019. That's the date. You know, people always say in the office to my dad, hey, Dad, when, you know, or, okay, when are you going to be retired? Usually most people say like, a year or two, a couple years later, they'll wind down. My dad would say, you know, they would ask, well, Dad, when are you going to be retired? May 1st, 2019. Okay, he knows when he wants to get retired. Fine. Sounds good. And let's just pause here for a quick second. I think this date should have been 6 to 8 years earlier. Why was it delayed? Well, Shayna and I were very expensive children. Very expensive. It cost you years. Okay. Years. But we finally come to the date that you're retired. Okay. And they did it in a way, not only to the savings, and they got all the tax documents, they read all the new tax code, they went to all the retirement planning meetings with their advisors. They also did it in a way that makes Shane and I not have to worry about anything else but the task at hand. We never have to worry about anything, dues and financial aid, but don't worry about it. Do well in school, extracurricular activities, be good people. That's all they ever said. And I didn't realize how valuable that was until the end of my schooling. And I thought, wow, what a really, really nice thing that we didn't have to worry about all the nuances, cars, insurance, all that other stuff. We didn't have to worry about it, they just wanted to. So I just wanted to thank you for doing that. Shayna took that a little too literally. You know, when she was a senior in high school, she went to Italy and spent $9,000. Shayna, you're gonna ruin this for us. What are you doing? Did you give me something nice? You know? When she came back stateside, I had a talking to her. I put her on credit card probation, not my parents. What are you doing? No. You got a lot of schooling left. Don't cut me off like this. Cut everyone off. Anyway, so we got to retirement, and obviously Shane passed. And it was a tough time in our life. Okay, but we got past it. Not past it. That's a better word to say. We were able to still be happy and enjoy her life, and that was okay. It was a dark time. But they got past it in a way that you wouldn't know that when you spoke to them. And I think that's something that we all too often just think like, you know, I can't imagine how that would be. But my parents have made that. I can't imagine how it would be. It's amazing. And they did it. Anyway, you know, in retirement, a lot of people I hear about, they say like, well, what am I going to do in retirement? And a lot of patients ask me, like, oh, you know, retirement age, what is your dad going to do? Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Or I go to these CE classes with other dentists, and they say, I don't know what I'm going to do with my time. I'm really bored. I'm like, trade you. You know, like, oh my God, I'd love to be bored. But that's not my parents. My parents are very active people. You know, my mom, she's got lots of activities. She volunteers. She does workout classes, does 5Ks with my dad. And she reads books, she has book clubs, she's got a lot going on. You know, I used to IMDb shows, you know, see if it's a good show to watch. But my mom binges a lot of shows. A lot of shows. So I would go on IMDb and I see the reviews. If it was like a 7.5 to 8.5, watch it. Worth the investment, right? Okay. But now I don't do that. I just ask my mom, Mom, what do you think? Billions? Yeah? No? Yes or no? She'll tell you. You need a show to binge? Text her. She'll tell you. One of my other hobbies that my mom really enjoys, and I think she's going to really up it now that she's retired, is grammar police. Yep. I think half the room probably got a citation at some point. You put an apostrophe in the wrong place, she'll tell you. You use I or me in the wrong context? Good luck to you. You know, whether this speech bombs or does really well, my mom's gonna come up here, she's gonna give me a hug, and she's like, Jack, that was great. But how'd you screw up the I and me with Marissa at the beginning of the speech? Like, I don't know, Mom, I'm getting nervous, 100 people looking at me. I've been doing this for 36 years. I know, Mom, sorry. Next retirement speech, I'll get it. You know, like Nana and my uncle, God, I'm afraid to talk to these people. My dad has lots of hobbies and interests. He's a historian. He loves history, world wars. He really enjoys that. He does triathlons, like 6, 7 a year, and 12 5Ks. I can't keep up with him. Okay. He collects stamps. Whatever, he likes stamps. Okay? And one major passion of my father is playing the clarinet. He loves the clarinet. Okay? He's in ensembles, he's in orchestras, he's in bands, he's got rehearsals and concerts I can't keep track of it all. He even made it at Carnegie Hall, Lincoln Center, whatever, right next to each other. Now, how'd you get there, Dad? Practice. So, that's how we got there. And naturally, when your dad has a passion for the clarinet, well, of course you have to play the clarinet. So Shana and I had to play the clarinet growing up. Okay? And I didn't have the same passion for it as my dad did. I mean, he loved it. But I was okay, whatever. It was fine, good resume builder, whatever. And so, when you're in high school and you play the clarinet, you have to be in marching band. There's no sign-up sheet. Do you want to do this? It's you're in it whether you like it or not. And they give you this costume to wear. And it's like zebra print, white, gold, and black for Comac. And then they give you this white top hat. It gets worse with this like orange feather on top. Oh my God. I look in the mirror, I'm like, Dad, I'm losing street cred here. This is not where I want to be. I mean, I don't have street cred anyway, but it's going the wrong direction. He's like, no, Jared, you don't understand. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna like it. And guess what, Jared? You get to hang out with the Cougarettes, the Kick Line, the popular girls. You can spend a lot of time with them. I'm like, Dad, I'm pretty sure it doesn't work that way. Like, you put on that top hat, and I think you become visible. I mean, no one can see you when they put that thing on. I think we have a Cougarette coach here somewhere. She'll tell you. And so the only way to get out of band camp and marching band is to get a job on Saturday morning. Oh my, I'm like that, I'll do anything. I literally will do anything to get out of this. See, why don't you work for me? On Saturday morning, I'm like, okay, fine. So I must have been a junior or senior at the time. So I had my own car driving. So I'm like, fine, Dad, I'll meet you at the office Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, no problem. And we get there, and he introduced me to the staff, and he's introduced me to the patients. This is my son, he's so excited. He gives me the suction, we do a lot of checkups and cleans, and I'm sucking out. And it's cool, and it's going really well. It's a little boring, but whatever, it's fine. And then when someone calls up, my dad's like, we got a hot tooth here. We got a hot tooth. Hot tooth. Patient comes in. So, we got an extraction here, Jared. You gotta change your suction head in that one. We got a big one. So this guy comes in, he gets him numb, and I'm thinking wiggle thing comes out, we're all good. So, my dad gets in there, wiggle crack, wiggle crack, wiggle crack, wiggle crack. I'm like, oh, I mean, I'm not a dentist, but I don't think this is going very well. I can see the beads of sweat on his forehead. Mind you, he's wearing a full-length collared shirt, a tie, a white jacket, a mask, glasses, and his goggles. I wear a Nike t-shirt with my logo on it. Times have changed. But anyway, he breaks out this massive drill. I'm like, oh my God, look at that thing. Did you get a Home Depot? What size is that thing? And he starts to drill the guy's face. And jawbone particles go flying. There's blood splatter everywhere. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I guess maybe that wiggle. I'm like, Dad, it's moving. He's like, I know, Jared, keep suctioning. Okay, Dad. And wiggle, and he gets it. He's like, all right. You got it, Dad. Nice work. And I'm like, it's 12 o'clock, I'm in for 4 hours. I'm like, Dad, I'm a little hungry. Can I get some lunch money? I'm gonna get out of here. And he's like, well, what did you think of that extraction? I'm like, yeah, Dad, it was great. Did you get a little nauseous or queasy? We got a faint in there? I'm like, no, Dad, it was fine. I think it was kind of cool. He's like, Dad, maybe you should be a dentist. Okay. I mean, NFL quarterback, this doesn't seem like it's a possibility anymore. Fine. Dreams, squish. We're fine. So anyway, fast forward 4 years from there, whatever I do undergrad, and I get to the University of Pittsburgh, and I am a freshman in dental school. And my first day's orientation, you're in scrubs, and you have what's called a white jacket ceremony. You get the proverbial doctor jacket. Okay, it's the University of Pittsburgh School of Dental Medicine, Jared K., student dentist. We're all taking selfies, we're all excited. We got here, and the dean, the president, he says a couple of things, very, very excited. Rah, rah, dentistry, you're all gonna make it, you're gonna be dentists, it's gonna be an exciting time in your life. And there's two things you're no longer allowed to say in your personal life because they can accidentally overflow into your professional life. Okay, you know, guys got some insight on this I'm listening? So two things you're no longer allowed to say are whoops and oh shit. I mean, no one wants to hear the drill. Zzz, oh shit. No one wants to hear that. You know, this brings me to the experience. You know, we make mistakes as dentists. There's some dentists in the room, they'll agree to it. But we don't call it mistakes, we call it learning experiences. I mean, listen, if something's going wrong, we didn't put the cavity there, you did. We just tried to fix it. But my dad had 30, 40 years of experience that he gave to me to make me into the dentist that I am today. You know, there's like a bell curve of how well you are as a dentist. In those first couple years, you think you're great, but you're terrible. You have no idea what you're doing. And then after a couple years, you get a little bit better and better. My dad would always, for 11 years of working together, 12 years, whatever it is, hey, Jared, I want to tell you this, I want to show you this thing. And I would be open ears, I'm like, oh, this is great, this is awesome. What great experience. Good idea. So I didn't have to make the same mistakes that my dad made, learning experiences, that my dad had. And really, it saved me numerous times. There was one time I remember, like, Jared, come take a look at this. My dad, I know how to do this. Did Jared do a come you like it? Okay. And he shows me this, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't think of that. That's great. And I tell you, 2 years later, that same scenario was in my chair, and I knew what to do because my dad prepared me for it. So thank you. You know, that same dean, 4 years later at dental graduation, and this point we fucking hated him. Like, it was 4 years, it was terrible, it was like the worst 4 years ever, it went through hell to get here, but then he says something insightful again. He says, right now, if I need a cavity or a crown, I wouldn't let any one of you touch me. Oh, I just graduated from his dental school. It's like, but in 5 years, I will let everyone touch me. And it just basically says, or do the filling or cavity or crown, whatever it was. But it just shows you that it takes years and years and years to get to this point. You know, there are some things that my dad could not prepare me for. Some things you just gotta learn on your own. Okay? The first month that I was there, I didn't have an assistant. I didn't have enough patience to have an assistant. But my dad would loan me out his assistant, Donna, and she's here somewhere. And she was amazing. She was with my dad for like 5 or 6 years at that point, and she was really, really good. And I loved working with her because it made dentistry so easy to have that assistant. They're like there to get the next step. It was just like I used to do it by myself. And to have an assistant was amazing. It was really, really nice. So that first month, I had a buddy from high school come in and needed a cavity done. So I'm like, hey, come on in here. This is Donna, my dad's assistant. He said, oh, that's cool. And he says, well, what about your assistant? I'm like, you know, I don't have one yet, but we just put an ad out on Craigslist, so we're going to be interviewing next week for an assistant. He's like, oh, nice. This is before I met Marissa. He's like, you should find some really young, hot, sexy assistant. I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want that, not sexy. I want someone just like Donna. No, you're very sexy. I love when you have your oh my God. You know, we're wearing masks, so we can't see, we just see eyes. And I see her eyes like pop, like, oh my God, I just said that. And I'm trying to overcompensate, and I see the eyes get, oh my God, I can't do it. What are you saying? I think like sexual harassment suit is coming. You know, I mean, from like, Matt Lauer from Today Show, just gone from Montauk before the experiment starts, gone. You know, there's a quick story I want to tell about two dentists. I don't know if it's true or not, but it makes a lot of sense. There are two dentists in a small town. One dentist is a great conversationalist. Okay, talked to patients like his own family, knew everybody inside and out, could talk about anything and have no problem conversing with everybody. No awkward silences. He made everyone feel like a family member. And in the other part of town, there was another dentist. There's only two dentists in town, and this guy was very, very dry. Terrible bedside manner. He'd be like, open, close, thanks, see you 6 months. He'd really be talking. The patient had more relationship with the assistant than he did the actual dentist. And the survey goes, they had people go to both dentists and who was the better dentist? And of course, they all said the conversationalist. This guy was amazing. Everyone loved him. Of course, he's a better dentist. But in actuality, his dentistry was terrible. The garbage dentistry. Everything failed. He was redoing everything. It was terrible. Patients don't know that. And the guy that nobody really liked did the best dentistry ever. And this is where I think my dad is a rare bird, because he's a combination of both of those things. He had 35 years or 40 years of working with patients, and he did amazing dentistry. I look inside these people's mouths, I'm like, wow, I haven't been able to do that 6 months. It's like 25 years he's did it in the mouth. It's unbelievable what he's able to do. And he's seen 3 generations of family members. It's unbelievable. And then the relationship he's built. And in the last 5 years, he's significantly cut back in time. He used to work 5 days a week, back in the day 6. So it's 5 and 4 and 3, now it's like 2.5 days a week. And my dad, he comes in and he's not very busy. And a lot of his patients have matriculated to me at this point, because he's not around, and natural progression, they come to me. We try to do everything very similarly. And he'd pop in and he's like, hey, Mrs. Jones, and I sit Mrs. Jones up. I'm like, hey, how are you? What's the latest? He's like, yeah, everything's good. And then we exchange pleasantries. And then he would go into his patient, and I'd sit Mrs. Jones back down and just keep going. And then, just the other month, a month or 2 ago, I said, oh, Mrs. Smith. And I'm working with Smith. We bring Mrs. Smith back up. He said, hey, how are the kids? How's everything? He said, the kids are great, thanks. He said, how's Mr. Smith? I feel like I haven't seen him in ages. He said, well, we just found out Mrs. Smith had an affair, and now we're getting divorced. I was like, that's terrible. I gotta go. I got a patient in the next room. You know, with the trilling hand, like, oh, no, boy, Dad, thanks for teeing that one up for me. How do you come back from that? Chilly this morning, wasn't it, Mrs. Smith? Yeah, I sit Mrs. Smith back down. I become that boring dentist. Open, close, see you 6 months. Get me out of here. True story? That happened. 6 months ago, my dad sent out a letter to every single patient in the practice. And he said, listen, I have 6 months left. If you want to come see me, now is the time. And my dad was pretty busy these last 6 months. And I would see the schedule, wants Randy. And lots of hugs, lots of laughs, lots of gift bags, lots of edible arrangements, lots of booze. I feel like this is Derek Jeter's farewell season. Oh my God, Dad. Like, we got a schedule to run. I'd like to retire some days. And Dad, they're retired now. They made it. And I hope in a couple of months, I call my dad and I say, hey, Dad, what's going on? What are you up to? And not much, just hanging out, having lunch on the deck. Went for a run this morning. I'm like, what are you up to today? I'm like, Dad, it's the same schedule for 35 years. It's a Tuesday. I got work in an hour. He'd be like, oh, thought it was a Saturday. And that will be successful. So anyway, let's raise a glass to my parents for making it to this point. Congratulations to Woj Oyster.